back to ASL. This is Challenger League, round of 32, Group F. And here on Echo in the bottom right-hand corner, for the first time tonight, it is the blue Terran player, MyDarling. And she will be facing her opponent who only needs one only one match to move on and take first place.
Yeah, this is the round robin format, of course, and we'll get that in a second. But first, up in the top left, her opponent is, of course, the green Zerg player from Storm Gaming, DemiLove. And yeah, because one of our players for this group, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it for whatever reason. We don't know. He just hasn't showed up. But yeah, we are going into the round robin format. Our first game was DemiLove versus Ziggy.
Yeah.
And yeah, DemiLove took that one. So he's now, if he wins against MyDarling, he will advance forwards in first place. And then MyDarling and Ziggy go to play the decider match. If MyDarling wins, then she goes to play Ziggy. And if Ziggy then wins against MyDarling, then we have a three-way tie. And fun times happen.
Definitely a lot of little fun times happen. But at least on this map, the fun that's happening is MyDarling moving out with her Reaper Fast Expand. And I mean, pretty normal. While on the other side for DemiLove, looks like just going for a speedling timing, or not even a speedling, but actually I almost want to say speedling timing.
Yeah, fairly fast lings here. Or speedlings rather. And they'll be able to come back the Reaper, but so far, just about every game in one way or another, DemiLove has opened up with quite a fast speed. Whether it's been a hatch first, hatch gas pool, or just 14-14 or something, the speed has been out a little faster than usual. I quite like that. It's in its own weird kind of way, fairly economical, because usually the timing for Zerg to take their third is when speed finishes.
Yeah.
Just because then your units are a bit more able to spread out across the map. The creep spread also helps a little bit. So early pools help with the creep spread. They help with getting that speed out to get your units around to be able to actually chase off Hellions. So it gets up to the third base a decent bit faster. MyDarling, though, this is a very fast army coming down. So it looks like we're going to see a very, very quick little Hellbat push forwards. And I think we can see these Marines move out with it as well.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be a quick Hellbat push, a very quick armory, more so than we've seen out of at least Ziggy in the previous games, and this is definitely, as you mentioned, a Hellbat push. Now, the early speed will be able to help DemiLove to defend this, but it's really going to be key, as you were mentioning. Normally, you get your third when you move out. DemiLove's liking this macro style, but at the same time, if you take that third and you have those quick lings, you're not going to have just as many lings because you did take that third. You're going to have a lot less army. And for now, it looks like DemiLove will not take that, but only one queen this time. And I don't really know if DemiLove is... I don't know if I want to say prepared, but DemiLove is playing a much different style in this situation than in previous games.
There are 10 lings on the way. I think it got seen by the Overlord kind of just about over this little hiding spot. But yeah, looks like the 10 lings are kind of popping out, but these 4 Hellbats now deal so quickly with those lings. They will have to be taken out as priority. The Spine Crawler doesn't even get cancelled, goes down pretty much immediately, and it's a lot of trouble for our green Zerg player now.
This is only 10 lings here, and it's not quite enough. All the queens are being pulled to target down these Hellbats right here. Each of these queens do have a couple transfuses to use. More lings coming in and barely getting by right now. Still no queens have been killed. And actually, the Hellbats do go down. 10 more lings pop out and will barely clean this up. But I mean barely as in just barely. If that was just a couple seconds different, that third queen not coming down, that attack would have completely gone through.
Yeah, but
actually,
now?
Second Baneling Nest starting.
Oh yeah. Huh. I think that's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, this is a lot more lings than DemiLove really needed to make to hold it off. And now they're basically useless. They're going to be able to deny a third base for MyDarling for a little bit. But actually, because she's got Hellbats, she can just move them out, trade cost efficiently against the lings, and take that third base pretty quickly afterwards. I think, oh wow, actually a cancel on the third base from DemiLove. So he committed way more to holding off that attack than he actually needed to in the end, it turns out.
Yeah, I completely agree. He did commit a lot more. I think those queens themselves remarkably almost could have with just the support of those couple lings taking the DPS of the Marines. But finally, Psystorm Gaming's DemiLove taking his third base a lot later than he would have liked, but he's in an okay position, getting out Spire. Now, there is a Banshee coming across the map, but there is no Cloak. Neither is Cloak being researched right here. So these mutas, hopefully coming out of the Spire, will be able to do a lot of damage. But I just like to point out, at least for DemiLove, he's playing completely differently than he's played in the previous games. He's not really macroing up to be able to defend a lot, and neither is he going for, I mean, like, he's previously just gone for a very quick third and a very late tech, but this time he's just going into tech very quickly.
Yeah, the tech a little bit faster. It's almost like a 2-base muta, only he kind of cancelled the third base and then rebuilt it into
his own third base, the CC of his opponent.
His own third base, like he
canceled the.
I don't know. It's gone a bit weird because of that little first Hellbat attack, but either way, the Mutalisks are on their way across the map now, and the Thor coming out from MyDarling should be able to chase them around, as well as all these missile turrets to actually defend the mineral lines. So shouldn't be too much of a problem there for the Terran player, but they'll still be able to get a bit done.
Yeah, finally, we do see DemiLove moving in to try to get rid of these missile turrets, but the missile turrets will get up. There is 2 hero Vikings here, which will push it up. But right now, at the third base, at least DemiLove denying the third base even more of MyDarling here. And this is actually going quite well for DemiLove. He's actually going to do a couple kills in the back on this gas, which is very important for MyDarling purely because MyDarling needs to get out as many Thors as she can. Yet she's only actually got 3 income on these refineries. If somehow DemiLove could pick off more, that'd be fantastic with an income of only about 300 gas a minute here, but looks like he'll actually be okay. Forcing out a lot of Vikings, though, on MyDarling's side, which it's interesting. She wouldn't go Marine, just very going into mech.
Yeah, I mean, these Vikings will eventually be useful in mech competition for kind of poking away at the Mutalisks, sniping Overlords, sniping Vipers, all sorts of things that the Vikings actually end up being needed for in a mech competition. Also, just discouraging a transition to Broodlords, because Broodlords are pretty strong versus most mech. Yeah. But MyDarling finally now moving out to take the third. It's 12 minutes, but I feel like that's about okay for a mech competition, especially after the little bit of aggression she put on. These Mutalisks are going to do their best to harass it as it moves out, though. But MyDarling now moving across with a very, very small force. However, the upgrades extremely late for Green Zo player, as I don't think he really realized that or fully realized that MyDarling would go mech quite this quickly.
Yeah, and now DemiLove, as I was mentioning before, I mean, just went upgrades a lot quicker into Spire than I thought he would, like he's done in previous games. Now, DemiLove is going Roaches, and I mean, even that in itself is a very, very... There's a lot of gas into tech right here, which is not into army, which I think DemiLove really needs. Right now, though, we do see the new third base, at least of MyDarling, attempting to be denied. Muta is just kind of going on the right-hand side of the map. A lot of Mutas were actually lost right there, an incredible amount, but SCV's in a strange place. Will get caught out, 2 killed, trying to go with that mech army. But like I was just saying, though, I think that DemiLove really anticipated a much later mech timing than we're seeing right here. But it looks like DemiLove is actually saying, I feel fine, I'm going to go for a lot of aggression. These Roaches do have +1 attack, and they have Roach speed, but Baneling's kind of behind them, will allow them to do a lot of damage, though, going into these Thors. 2 Thors taken out, all the Thors taken out, actually, except for 1 right now. Siege Tank gone, and almost the entire army has been routed.
Yeah, that Siege Tank actually tanked by an SCV survives for a little longer, but the reinforcing Thor coming in actually does manage to clean all of this up, so that looked a little scary for MyDarling for a minute, but she does manage to hold it off, but I do not think it was cost efficient for her. Doing really, really nice there at trading against that mech army, and I mean, as Zoplayer's already getting back up towards the supply he was on before, whereas MyDarling sitting down at 108. We've got DemiLove up at 120, looking much more healthy.
Yeah, and I love this from DemiLove. After sniping all the Thors with the Roaches, really suiciding his entire army, and he makes 18 more Mutalisks, which are going to go almost completely undenied. There are the Vikings, but these Mutas may be able to trade in small amounts with these Vikings for now. They are kind of dancing around the enemy army, and off the back of this, DemiLove is taking a 4th base. This is going very well for him, even though it wasn't super custom, but actually, all the Mutalisks go directly into these Vikings. There is no Thors on the bottom, but they're doing a decent amount of damage. These are 1/1 Mutalisks, just remember that, while the ones for MyDarling are only at +1 attack.
Yeah, and they're doing really well. Even fighting under over the missile turrets, that's a little bit too deep for now. But they back off. They're going to head towards the third base location. MyDarling actually hasn't taken it over here, but they're going to find free barracks. And this is actually going to mean MyDarling has to rebuild that barracks if she needs any more factories, which is going to be a bit annoying the longer the game goes.
Good point.
And yeah, so after taking it out, the Mephis can keep on going around. As Ling run by, it's going to try and make its way into this third base, but it just kind of runs past some siege tanks and has to leave again. A bit unfortunate there. I think they could have actually taken out those siege tanks if they'd gone in.
Yeah. Now, one big thing about making MyDarling take her fourth base is not only that it's very far away, or I mean, it's mainly that it's far away, but the way to get to that fourth base to attack as a Zerg player, you can kind of go between the fourth, which is the third, and the natural base, and really cut off any supply lines because it's so far away. But in the main right now, we see those 18 Mutalisks, again, now 22 Mutalisks, doing as much damage as they can. 10 SCVs gone, working on that main, and looks like MyDarling saying, you know, I got a base trade with you going across the map, but actually a lot of Hellbats getting caught off in the middle, but the Lings will go down because of that.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, and it's, going into a bit of a weird base trade situation. Oh, these Overlords are really not to lose here for the Storm Gaming Zerg player, and now that mech army moving up the ramp into the third base, and DemiLove is going to be taking a lot of damage over here, and his army actually isn't really high enough DPS to trade against MyDarling. These Mutalisks, they're great, but they don't actually do a whole lot of damage. Plus there's the fact that these two Thors surrounded by missile turrets really aren't able to do much. So now it's going to have to come down to actually fighting this mech army, and that's not something I actually think that we're going to see this army from DemiLove actually be able to do.
Yeah, there is 23 SCVs currently with the army of MyDarling. Now, there are the mutas here, but I mean, 25 drones going down. Both players' third bases have been taken out, but right now, as you were saying, the mutas cannot engage this main army. They have to get a fantastic position, but they may be able to snipe a lot of these. Actually, on this battle right now, a lot of the Thors are stuck on the ramp. These mutas may be able to snipe something, but for right now, getting a beautiful concave on the right-hand side will move in. Going to be able to snipe a lot of SCVs if they choose to, but actually going directly for the Thors. They know they need to get it. Magic boxing on top of the Thors. We'll get rid of the last Thor, and now there's only these 5 Vikings which can actually hit air, but the natural is destroyed. Now the main is the Spire, though, so there is still a lot of tech, but the Roach Warren, the Baneling Nest, and the Spire is also going to go down. Both players have gone into a big base race, and while the game is not over, they have both inflicted massive amount of damage.
The Spire survives, and that was crucial here, because if DemiLove can keep on punching out these Mutalisks, he should very easily be able to actually outproduce the Thors. Just Magic Box, another 2 come in. These ones should be pretty easy Magic Box. A couple nice hits do go down, and the SCV tanking is going to be pretty strong here, but not strong enough for MyDarling. She loses her last Thor, and now she's just kind of turfing up on a couple bases. This third base location really has very little. Yeah, she knows she has to evacuate it. It's the right decision. And now she's just on the natural. A few Widowmines are left over, but I don't even know if this CC is going to get back to safety.
Yeah, I highly doubt this CC is going to get back to safety. There is 6 missile turrets desperately trying to defend 2 Vikings, but not even the 2 Vikings can do anything. For now, as long as DemiLove played this well, he's got a fantastic contain on MyDarling. The army cannot move out, and the army simply cannot outproduce these mutas as they fly around. They're even going to get these 2 Vikings. And it's beautiful right now. We do see the Roach Warren being remade, but on the other side of the map, 3 Thors are being made at the same time. But really, I mean, GG right there. DemiLove takes game 1. What I was gonna say is just even if somehow MyDarling get up those Thors, we're gonna see out of DemiLove a fantastic bank, which is just gonna allow him to pump out so many roaches to counter those Thors. And there's gonna be nothing left. Just the economy of both players were hit so hard, but DemiLove just came out a little bit ahead.
Here we are on Terraform, and up here in the top left is the player who is 1 game away from advancing off to the round of 16, that wonderful happy land. It is Storm Gaming's blue Zerg player, DemiLove.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of Terraform, it is the red Terran player currently hoping to secure 2 wins in a row for herself. Hoping. It is MyDarling. What?
And
I don't know.
Yeah, so now we're on the map. We can see all the the general base layout is very laid back. The only kind of forward third option for a meching player is that kind of weird base which backs onto nothing. But yeah, this is the typical third base, and there's the third base that could be better for a meching player. I'm not sure if it would be, but if you really, really aggressively mine out a couple of the mineral patches, you would still be able to push through there and have a fairly short path to your opponent. And I don't know how viable that would be. It looks like MyDarling, though, is going to be moving out with a couple pretty aggressive SCVs. So,
and a Marine, nicely enough.
Oh, no, that's a Marine, isn't it? Interesting. Yeah. Overlord hunting.
Yeah, it will be MyDarling's Marine getting a lot of damage done for herself. And, I mean, like you're saying, maybe you can mine out one of those mineral patches really quickly, but on the contrary, if you're going mech, your opponent, I mean, no doubtably, they're going to get some roaches in that army. And anything ranged, no matter what it is going to be able to decimate the third base in the left-hand side for MyDarling. Now, also, just the one above MyDarling vertically, it's 3 ways to get in there. How are you going to defend that, even with a couple siege tanks?
Yeah, it's going to be really, really tough. So we'll see how long the game goes for MyDarling. There's always the possibility, of course, that she goes for a really big kind of hellbat push or something to try and end it before she has to get a third base. But I definitely agree it's going to be a tough call as to where she takes that. Unless, of course, she just plays regular old bio. But yeah, we'll see whether that's even in her repertoire fairly shortly.
So far, MyDarling is on double gas with 4 in that gas. So, I mean, at least from her, that is not a bio play unless it's going to be absolutely something crazy. But on the other side of the map, for DemiLove here, looks like just getting speed, going up to speed, keeping those drones in gas now. Now, this is pretty indicative. I mean, maybe not necessarily another fast Spire, but obviously going to be getting that... Obviously, DemiLove is not planning on taking a very quick third and going into he's not planning to go into an economic position from here. He's definitely kind of getting up to defend.
Yeah, it looks like he could. Oh yeah, there's the lair coming up, and could see some gases come down now if he wants to go into a mutilist play. But it looks like MyDarling has been saving that SCV up on the top of the map to have another scout round, and he's going to see the 2 gases down in the natural going down. And there are a couple things this should be, but given that she's already scouted that DemiLove did have... Oh, actually, it's just going to go into this third for the third base scout. So not seeing the third base, she heads into natural. And yeah, it's going to spot these extractors going down. Doesn't get to the main base to see anything more, though. But there's a possibility she could endure it there. It's a 2-base mute play. As the third base is very late for the regular kind of play. Those 2 gases in the natural coming down about the right time.
Yeah, and definitely if it was going to be some sort of quick roach play, roaches would have already been down, or you'd see a wall there. No Zerg player going roaches is not going to have that wall right there, so I think it's pretty obviously going to be something to do with Spire, or at least most likely Spire. It's pretty obviously, though, it's going to be something that's going to be very, very gas heavy, and it is off of layer here. But for... MyDarling, interestingly enough, MyDarling's actually planning on going Cloak Banshee, which I feel like Cloak Banshee is good, but on the other hand, it's kind of, well, if you think Muta, probably not, you're not going to go Cloak Banshee, but on the contrary, on the other side, at least for DemiLove, so far not going Muta, and just going up to, actually, sorry, Spire is down, but going up to a third base.
Yeah, well, if you time it right, I feel like the Muta still can be, sorry, the Banshee still can be quite effective against the Mutalisk. Just if you go in like as the Mutalisk come into your base, you've got a ton of missile turrets at home, and MyDarling does have the eBay to actually throw those missile turrets down. But there we go, come down now. So I was just let's say it's getting a little late to be throwing this down, but as they come down, the Banshee actually is just going to try and DPS down his third base hatchery. And the Mutalisk, I think, are going to be a little late to the party here. Oh yeah, and the Hellbat morph comes in. This has got a lot more DPS on the hatchery, a lot more threatening here for the Zerg player. And yeah, the Hellbats do so well against these things. Banshee does have to back off a little bit, but it brings these queens into the fire of the Hellbats, and they just keep on going to work on that hatchery.
Yeah, interestingly enough, DemiLove has had 800 minerals, 800 gas in the bank, but has decided to make no mutas yet. I don't know if he doesn't realize the Spire is done or was being very strategic not to show his hand yet. Now, there finally is 9 mutas on the way, and there's going to be missile turrets ready for it, but as we were mentioning before, third base is going to be so hard for MyDarling to take, and as a mech player, that third base is really, it's the backbone of your economy that gives you into a position where you can just outproduce your opponent into so much mech where you can either turtle up or go for a push, and you're going to be able to keep supplying more and more mech into that army consistently.
Yeah, and just judging by the position where she's built it, it looks like MyDarling is planning to go for that forward, kind of open-backed third base position. So, yeah, I'll be very intrigued to see how this plays out for her, and whether it comes back to bite her a little bit. That open back is kind of quite beneficial to Muclis, quite beneficial to any kind of ranged units as well. But we will see. The Muclis now making their way into the main base, just grouping out first. As he goes home and does some macro, but now, yeah, they can get their harass down. The missile turrets can't really cover everywhere, and Thor's very slow to respond in this sort of situation, so she's going to snipe a gas, and that is vital. The gases are vital, of course, for any kind of mech player, and one of the Muclis goes down, but I feel like it's done quite well for itself. A few SDVs and a gas guys are taken out.
Yeah, I think those meters are completely worth it right there. As you were mentioning, it not only is Thor is slow, but the main of this the main in Terraform is so big. And MyDarling noticing that, having to put 2 more missile turrets down, but after the refinery was sniped, just because the main is so big, I mean, you cannot cover it. It's very hard to defend, especially with mech. And it looks like DemiLove's actually trying to posture and do an attack to the natural, but it's not quite gonna happen. MyDarling is much more prepared for that. But off the back of all this little poking in aggression, keeping his opponent on her toes, DemiLove is going for a Roach Ling style, and I mean, he has got a Baneling Nest, that possibility, but that third base is going to be hit so hard because it is an open back third base, as you mentioned, Trigonal.
Yeah, now this is a little reminiscent of the attack he did last game on Echo. I think I always get the names of Echo and Coda confused, but I'm pretty sure it was Echo.
It was Echo, yes.
Yeah. And yeah, this worked out quite well for him then. He didn't kill off any real econ or anything, but he traded quite efficiently against the army, remaxed quite nicely, and took out the Thors for a big muta play. Now, at the minute, there are 3 Thors on the map. These roaches can trade out very efficiently versus them, or at least force them into a position, or out of position, so the Muclis can come in somewhere else. And it looks like the Lings and roaches are going to be coming in now. With very few siege tanks, they're going to be extremely tough to deal with.
Yeah, definitely will be extremely tough to deal with. MyDarling's made a couple too many Thors here, and SCV's actually being pulled and will get slaughtered right here. 7, that is 7 down, maybe more, and this entire third base has been sacked. Now, one thing I'd really quickly like to point out about the open back bases is if you do go for them, if your opponent has siege tanks, then you cannot be aggressive into those siege tanks. So it does provide a little bit of a natural wall, which you literally cannot kill.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, I mean, for now, that third base is being completely broken. MyDarling's going to float over to the other base, but
so much mining time.
Yeah, there's so much lost mining time. So much kind of lost time in the CC. It will regenerate that energy, but now the roaches move in. One Thor goes down very quickly. The Muclis are going to come in as well. They're tanking for the roaches. They won't do much damage. They might not even survive the fight, but you know what? These roaches, they are going to demolish the Thors, and a big Muclis rematch could be devastating for MyDarling. But I don't even know it's going to get that far. The 2 siege tanks get taken out, and there we go.
GG!
We see DemiLove advance forward in first place from Group F, and we go to a deciding match between MyDarling and other Terran player.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.